Hey, welcome to another update on Archmage Rises. It's been a while, and I have lots of things to share with you. I wish I had more time to do updates. You will hear in a second why I haven't been doing very many update videos. So I'm super busy, and the reason I'm super busy is I'm working 6 days a week, non-stop, trying to pull all these things together. And I have no time to do update videos. So what am I so busy with? Here we go. So I hired Josh in March, and he's been working great. And then in July, we hired Tyler, and he's a full-time programmer. And I should introduce you to him, but I haven't got to that yet. Then we have Ruby, who is an artist and a technical artist, like visual effects artist. And she's full-time, and she was working on a contract that we had with a game studio in the US, and that's wrapping up. So now that she has more time to work on Archmage Rises, which is great, because she was working 40 hours a week on this other contract. So that's good. And I am interviewing and doing programming tests. I had 2 candidates. They both did not do well on their tests, so that's unfortunate. So I'm still looking for another programmer, and hopefully I can find one. And so there's a lot of people and a lot of things going on the recruitment side. And so that's why I entitled this particular update as Becoming a Studio, because I was just thinking how 2 years ago, it was just me. It was just me trying to make Archmage Rises. And as some of you will remember, I kind of got into this funk. I'm like, oh, this thing's going to take forever. I need a team. So I went away and I spent some time away from the game and praying about it. And I was like, okay, what are we going to do here, God? Because I'm getting real worn out trying to do this by myself. And I came back with this impression that I need to build a team. And I don't know how I was going to do it, but here we go. So then I hired Daniel. He's a full-time programmer. Then I hired Michael. He's a full-time programmer. Then I hired Josh as full-time programmer. Then I hired Tyler as a full-time programmer. And we got Ruby, who is now a full-time artist. And very soon, if you remember James, he's been doing our audio, or not doing our audio, because he's been busy with other things and contracts. James is now joining the team full-time, and he is going to be working on the audio 100% of his time, and the audio experience is going to be awesome. If you don't know, audio is super critically important to a game. It's one of those things, kind of like UI, where people don't notice unless it's absolutely amazing or super terrible. But there's this big wide zone in the center where nobody even notices it. Animation sells every click, every hit in combat, the tone of going into a new town, the tone and scariness of going into a dungeon. And the music, obviously. So it provides weight and depth to the world. And since we have a low amount of art, even though I have all these artists working on it, the audio experience is even more important to this game. And so I'm thrilled that we think James is going to start October 1st. He has a bunch of things to wrap up at his current work. But October 1st, he's going to start and be full-time dedicated to the audio experience of this game. So that's exciting. The other thing is he's not just an audio person, although that's good in and of itself, but also a designer, game designer. So he is able to bring kind of his experience with GMing and professional work that he's done as a game designer, and he's able to bring that to Archmage. And so designing up the big bad things that are going to happen near the end of your life in Archmage to see if you're powerful enough to save the world, because I believe very strongly that sandboxy open world games should have some kind of point and some kind of win condition. And so I've been able to come up with 3, but James is the kind of person that can come up with the other 7, and then when it creates a world, it will randomly grab one of these big bads and bring it into the world, and then you can deal with it, either by joining forces with them or trying to stop them. And I could talk more about that in another video if I ever have time to make videos. So that is kind of what's going on with the studio. We have been working on a number of systems. So this is the crazy irony of this. when I wasn't super busy and I was sort of working on Archmage, I had all kinds of time to make updates. But now that I'm crazy busy, I don't have time for updates. So it actually looks like not a lot is going on in Archmage, when actually tons is being done. More is being done in Archmage today, this week, than has ever been done in the 7 years I've been working on this thing. Except, anyways, I have to get in front of this camera and actually tell you about what's going on. And so here I am. Because of my squeezed time, even in 6 days a week, I'm not getting enough done. Josh is going to be rising up as our community manager. And what that means is he has time in order to be able to tell you about all the great things that are going on in Archmage every week or whatever. And so that doesn't mean that I'm not interested. It doesn't mean that you won't see me anymore. It just means rather than nothing coming from me, you get something coming from Josh. And he has my full authority in which to do that and show things. He's been streaming for quite a while. And anyway, most importantly, he has time and he's excited to do it. Not that I'm not excited to do it, but I really lack on the time front. So you will see more Josh in the future. And anyways, just know that I'm still here plugging away on trying to make all this happen and pulling it all together. So, what have we been working on? Daniel's been working on the inventory, and we are moving away from a weight-based system like Skyrim towards a slot-based system like State of Decay 2, if that means anything to you. So, what that means for the inventory is you have a certain number of slots defined by your strength or defined by a pack animal, and you can put whatever you want in those slots, and things stack up to 25 in those slots. So, if you want to put 25 loads of rock, you can in one stack, or 25 feathers. It doesn't matter anymore. And so we think that this slot-based system is actually plays better and easier, and yeah, it's just better and it's more clear. And basically, it plays like the bags of World of Warcraft. So you're not doing anything right if you're not stealing from World of Warcraft. You know what I'm saying? So Daniel's been working on that, and we have weird exceptions like when you have the mage tower, I don't want the wood and the stone that you require for building your mage tower to take up all these slots in your inventory. So basically you could shove wood and stone outside and they don't go bad and they don't disappear. If it's at your mage tower, they will. But just this week we decided that if you were to go drop something on the ground, in Skyrim, you go and you take some dragon bone, because that stuff's crazy heavy, but it's worth pretty good gold, so it's crazy stupid heavy. So you throw it on the ground, it's always there for the rest of the time. I remember in my game that there was, I don't know, some kind of attack that was going on in Whiterun, and one of the guards got killed and his body drops, and for the rest of time, the body is lying there and people walk by and comment on it. And I played like another 30 hours past that point, and every single time people are commenting on the dead body. So anyway, we don't think we want that. That's not realistic, especially when it's a simulator and time is passing realistically. Therefore, if you drop something on the ground, it's going to be there for a short period of time. If you go away and come back, but otherwise, basically at the end of the day or something, it's just going to disappear whatever's there, unless it's on the ground at your mage tower. So those are kind of weird exceptions that we have to program in. So Daniel's working on that, and basically if you want to get rid of something in your inventory, you just drag it in the center of the screen, just drops it on the ground, and I don't know, I think we've needed that for years, and now we're finally getting it. Michael's just finished working on the simulator and how we create the people that you see in the world, and now he's working on the save files. And the save files are smaller and faster to save and faster to load, and we're going to do background saving of the files, and it's going to be great. So he's busy working on that. Josh is busy working on the NPCs and making them dialogue with you and be able to talk about events. And the big thing that I'm really excited about, of course I'm not showing it to you, but anyways, I'm excited about it, is the ability to go into a tavern and to be able to listen to the NPCs and to find out what's going on in the world, not by rolling a gather information check, but by just listening to see what people are saying inside the tavern. And I've cut it to be very, very pithy, like it's like one line and another line response. Like there isn't volumes of stuff to read, first of all, because that's really hard with text generation to create volumes for you to read. But secondly, I don't have time to read a whole bunch of stuff. I just want to get to the point. So anyway, there's a balance there, trying to figure out how to make it not too on the nose, but also to make it not too long. So Josh has been busy working on that. So there you go. There's 3 things simultaneously all happening. And then Ruby has been working on the special effects for combat. Remember combat? That thing we were working on like all last year? Well, anyway, we finished the programming of it, but there's still all this art and visual effects stuff. And so here are 2 examples of some visual effects from Ruby. They're 2 different shield effects, and I'm excited about them. I think they look cool, and can't wait to get them fully in the game. One of them still needs a little more work. So Ruby's busy doing that. And the most important thing, the thing I want to show you right now is I'm going to show you the maps. So Ben, he's another programmer that we've brought on. And I'm not afraid to tell you that Ben is still in high school, but he's smart. So when I met him, I was like, hey, this guy's smart. He's done some Unity work. He's done some terrain generation stuff. Maybe he'd come and help us. So Ben is only 17. He's still in high school. Still has another year to go of high school. But he's smart, and he knows how to program. And so we were like, yeah, we actually got a government grant in order to bring on a teenager, high school student to work on the game. Isn't that better, work on Archmage Rise's terrain generation, than to have a McJob, making fries? Anyway, that's what I think. So Ben has been working on the terrain generation under the tutelage of Daniel, and here you go. Here, you can see the maps for yourself. And now I'm going to click on the map, and Ben and Ruby and others have been working on this, and you'll see we have entirely new map tiles. And it's not only that we have new graphics, but there's all new tech behind this as well. So we can have the world be as big as we want. It doesn't matter the size of the world anymore for frame rate or, in a sense, even memory. So this is what you're used to walking around the map with obviously these nice new graphics. But more importantly, Ben has really been focused on the terrain generation. So if I open this up, you can see we have biomes and we have interesting places to go. And we have, obviously, things are icy at the top. And we have different kinds of world gen. This is the single continent one. He's currently working on getting rivers in. And so you're able to create different kinds of worlds, island worlds, whatever. Basically, we're just copying Civilization 6. So whatever you see there is what we're doing. And, wow, it's exciting. So, oh, yeah, here's a big island. There we go, found an island. So it's just tons of work going on behind the scenes, and I think you're going to really like it once we get it all ready. Maps are looking awesome. That's great. Now, the big thing is I got all these people. We got all this activity. We're turning into a studio. We are becoming a real studio here. It was just me for a long time, and then obviously there was Nick, and Nick's employment here was great, but it was always kind of this temporary, like, hey, can you help me with this for a while or whatever? But it wasn't necessarily, hey, we're going to be working together for 5 years or whatever. It was kind of like, hey, let's get over the hump and such. But as I brought on Daniel, Michael, Josh, Tyler. These are long-term commitments. These are full-time employees forever. Basically, forever means as long as we can do it. Anyway, they are, people are moving here. Michael and Josh have moved here to Canada, to this little island, in order to work on this thing. And so we are hopefully going to be making multiple projects together. And so what I want to say about kind of becoming a studio is doing payroll has become a huge problem. We had payroll last Saturday, and it took me 4.5 hours to do payroll for everybody's hours and the different amounts and PayPal and doing it through bank transfers and all kinds of stuff. So now it's time to get an actual payroll solution. That's a company, I don't know if it exists outside of Canada, called ADP. And so we're getting everybody set up in ADP, and everybody's been moving over to salary and stuff. And this is just the junk of just running a studio. And it takes up all my time. There's a reason I can't do update videos on the weekend, because I'm doing 4.5 hours of payroll on a Saturday. Anyway, as we have been bringing people on and making them permanent, I'm excited about... We have in-house programming. We've always had in-house programming. We have in-house game design. We have now moving towards in-house art and visual effects with Ruby. Roger's still involved. He's doing line art right now on Scorpions. And now we're bringing audio experience in-house. And basically the only thing that I'm going to I am looking at bringing in an artist full-time, playing around with that idea. Anyway, and the only thing that we would have to outsource is animation. And I'm cool with outsourcing animation. I don't feel like that's something that I have to have at the drop of a hat, within arm's reach here in Canada. So, wow, we're kind of bringing it all together into something. Now, what has enabled this? What has enabled this is I have a friend who has worked in AAA for 15 years, worked on Guitar Hero, worked on Skylanders, worked on Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and worked on Game of the Year, PlayStation 4, God of War. He got a job leading a new project at a new company, making a game, and I think this is how it went down. I wasn't there, but they said to him, okay, what do you need in order to make this successful? And he's like, I really want to hire Thomas and his team over at Defiance. And so I met with them because of my friend, and met with them, and we said, yeah, okay, let's do this project together. So that was only some of us. It was me and Tyler that are working on this project with my friend. And we were going along, and I've only been doing it for a month. That's another reason why I've been so busy, is just getting this project started, and getting the project started and programming on it, as well as project leading it and other things from an engineering perspective. Anyway, so I've been working on it, and they're like, hey, you guys are doing really great, and actually we have this other project with this other team, and that's not going so great, and what we'd really love is for you to take on the second project. And I'm like, what does it all mean for Archmage and such? And what does it mean for us as a studio? So what is the goal here? The goal is to finish Archmage Rises. To finish Archmage Rises so that we can then make another game. And we can then make another game, and we can make another game. To build a team that is talented, focused, motivated at making good games. The kind of games that you aren't seeing from the AAA studios. Hopefully our games bring something unique and special. So that is the goal. Taking on this contract work helps us get there. Allows us to have full-time visual effects person, full-time audio person, full-time maybe art director, and to hire another programmer as well. So taking on this work allows us to expand the team even more. Yes, it's going to take some time away from Archmage Rises, but Archmage Rises is still going to continue on. That's again a difficult balancing act for me. But when somebody's dangling money right in front of you, and I'm going into debt every single month, I think you can imagine, like, it's very tempting to do it. So I'm trying to do it smartly. So we are taking on this other project, and it starts August 16th, and that's exciting for us. That gives us a financial backing that we've never had. I'm going to stop going out of debt. I'm going to start being able to pay off my debts. And most importantly, when we're done that project, we're going to have a team of 10. It boggles my mind to say it. We're going to have 10 people working at Defiance, and we're going to be able to really finish Archmage well. That doesn't mean we're not working on it while we're working on another project. But anyway, when we finish that other project, I think, from all my Excel spreadsheeting, again, time spent on Saturdays instead of doing updates, trying to figure out the projections and what things are, I think that when we're done the project, we will have 12 to 18 months of cash in the bank to be able to sustain the final development phase of Archmage Rises. So, unfortunately, I've said it before, sometimes you have to go slow to go fast, and there's a lot going on. So, that's why I entitled this Becoming a Studio, because this is the moment. On August 16th, Defiance becomes like a real game studio with a payroll solution where everybody just gets paid and automatically shows up in their bank accounts, and I don't have to PayPal money all over the place anymore. So I hope you're excited, and I and Josh will be feeding you regular updates on what's going on with Archmage Rises. Again, on the art side, we still have lots of things to do on the combat and terrain generation, whatever. So anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for following us, for caring about this game. I care deeply about this game. That's one reason why it's taken so long. If I didn't care, I would have stopped. Second thing is, if I didn't care, I would have just throw it out there and be done with it and move on to the other amazing game ideas that I think I have. But we all really care and love Archmage, and we're doing the best we can in order to bring it to life. And so, thank you, and I will see you next time.